Hi, this is Larry Zorro. Who is Tommy Robinson? To get a fresh look at Tommy Robinson, I went to the Washington Post. I think they would be fair and give accurate reporting from their huge news agency. Don't you think? The article is called Conservative Outrage After Anti-Muslim Campaigner Tommy Robinson Secretly Jailed in Britain. It was written by Avi Silt. I hope he is an unbiased reporter that is not for Islam or against it. I do wish reporters would submit their biases before writing a story. To some reporters, it's like they see Satan under every rock and pebble when it deals with anti-Muslim sentiment. I didn't get very far in the article. I didn't even get past the first few sentences. The author of the article said that Tommy Robinson was one of Britain's most notorious anti-Muslim campaigners. Anti-anything sounds pretty bad, don't it? But maybe Tommy is not one at all. Maybe he has been misrepresented by the press and should be called a pro-liberator of Muslims. What I see is that he doesn't campaign against the people of Islam, but against their false religion. He gives heartfelt messages that Muslims should consider and then turn away from their slavery of Islam and become truly liberated. Maybe the message of Tommy is more motivated by love instead of hate. I can only report on his videos that I've seen. He seems like a real decent person. That first line in the article seemed very biased itself, implying that Tommy is some kind of notorious outlaw by being an anti-Muslim campaigner, whatever that means. He's campaigning for what? The next line from the famous reporter speaks on that Tommy was arrested for disrupting a trial last week. That sounds pretty bad, don't it? Tommy is really a lawbreaker worthy of arrest? Is that the news? Is it right? Now let's look at Tommy Robinson and how he disrupted the trial. Evidence number 1, Tommy used a cell phone. I remember the time when I first wanted a cell phone. It wasn't really to call on. I wanted it for picture taking. I liked the idea of having a small little cell phone instead of carrying around a large camera. Now I see that cell phones can be a weapon in the hands of a skillful person like Tommy Robinson. As a Christian, I learned a lot from watching Tommy. That I too must learn to use my little weapon, my little cell phone, and that it could be a very mighty weapon, just like in the hands of David, a tiny stone in a sling could slay a big giant like Goliath. I still find it fantastical that Tommy Robinson was presumed to have disrupted a trial with a cell phone. You think we should all give up our cell phones so that peace can be in the land or in our nations? Now, did you see the bobbies, the way they were trying to take Tommy's phone away? Trying to take his weapon of choice away? It looked as though they were about to call the bomb squad or perhaps take out their clubs in order to take the offending phone away. It was hilarious. I will always have fond memories of how Tommy kept pulling his cell phone away from them as they kept trying to grab it. The other thing I noticed that Tommy was accused of live streaming on Facebook outside of Leeds Crown Court. He was not even inside the building, do you believe it? If Leeds Crown Court is so against filming on their fine property, then why not barricade it from miles all around? They should only allow public officials and criminals to enter the property, and for all means don't allow anybody in there with a cell phone. Did Tommy miss the sign that said filming outside of Leeds Crown Court could give you a 13 months prison sentence? I don't believe there was a sign. Maybe you Brits can tell me if there was one. I couldn't believe the next step of tyranny in this whole thing. It was to silence all the reporting on the arrest of Tommy Robinson. Many of the news agencies around the world obeyed the request of being hushed. It did not work, though, because of the free-loving Brits. Many, with their weapons of choice, their cell phones, filmed what was going on. Oh, what criminality. And now it seems we have a movement with people holding their cell phones up across the world in honor of Tommy. It was reported that Tommy was live streaming to Facebook. Now, I know that Facebook has been in the news lately, but live streaming and its illegality was never mentioned by anyone. Should they not have warned their customers and patrons to beware of certain posts that could land them in jail like Tommy Robinson? Live streaming could come with a jail sentence. Now, if you're a scared person, I would get off Facebook right now. I wouldn't be listening to this video. I'd get off of YouTube too, and I'd throw away your cell phone. It could land you in jail, just like Tommy Robinson. There are a lot of issues that must be addressed now that truth has been exposed. Number one, you're not safe anywhere in the world when using your cell phone. Number two, governments know what you're doing at all times. They truly are watching you. Three, political powers in control can detain us and arrest us for simplest infractions. You might, like Tommy, get over a year sentence in a kangaroo hush court and with silent reporting about your demise. Number four, many in the law enforcement do not represent the people but special interests within the government. They feel no qualms about arresting outspoken people, especially those that use their cell phones. My last point I would like to make is how Tommy disrupted the trial. I heard that Tommy is being called a journalist, but was he really one? I never seen him on any network. Have you? Giving the news? He had his own network, like those on YouTube, but does that make you a journalist? Or at least not one that has wealthy industry behind them. I know there are many on YouTube who think they are special by the number of their subscribers. They do get financing from companies and monetized funds, but does that make you a legitimate journalist? I think Tommy is a journalist, but in the sense of a self-made journalist and not one that had a camera crew and a truck and financial backing like those of local news organizations. I never seen Tommy giving news for the BBC, the UK, the Sky News, or any other news agency. So who is Tommy Robinson? I think it can be summed up in these words. He is an outspoken Brit that had become the terror of the UK, a rebel with a cause, a notorious outlaw with a cell phone, a speaker of truth, a lover of people, but a hater of the criminal elements in Islam. You know, I admire him, and I would like to become outspoken and dangerous like him, but in a Christian way. A Christian, dangerous, by using his cell phone. Now, this is Larry Zorro, and you'll see me at night with bended knees as I pray to my Christian God by saying, "Free Tommy, Tommy, free Tommy Robinson." In Jesus' name I pray, amen.